Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Tom Blake, and I'm a member of the Syracuse Police Department's Public Relations team. We're here today to discuss last night's incident that resulted in the tragic death of 2 law enforcement officers. We express our sincere condolences to the families and friends of the fallen officers, and as well as to their brothers and sisters in blue as they process this horrific tragedy. These law enforcement officers serve their community with distinction and unwavering commitment to public safety. Their death is a loss to every member of this community. Today you will hear from Syracuse Police Chief Joe Cecil, Onondaga County Sheriff Toby Shelley, the City of Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh, and County Exec Ryan McMahon, as well as the PBA President Joseph Moran. These distinguished speakers will be providing you with the pertinent details of this incident. The information being provided is based upon preliminary investigation, which will continue to evolve as the detectives review physical evidence, analyze forensic data, and interview witnesses. The department's understanding of these facts and circumstances of this case may transform as the investigation unfolds. We anticipate and appreciate your understanding, and we ask that you hold all questions until the end of this press briefing. You will now hear from Police Chief Joe Cecil.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I go into the timeline, let me just say this. We lost 2 heroes last night, 2 men who raised their hands and answered the call of duty to protect and serve their communities. And that is exactly what they were doing when they were gunned down. All of us on the police department and in the community are feeling sadness, loss, and anger, myself included. We will be feeling these emotions for days, weeks, months, and years. You can trust me on this. But you can trust me on this as well. We will get through it. We will get through it as we always have, as a family, because that's what the law enforcement is, a family. In the next couple weeks and months, our officers will stay close to both of their families, the ones at home and the one here. And as time begins to pass, we will never forget these officers and their ultimate sacrifice to protect and serve their communities. And more than that, more than just remembering them, we will honor them too. Honor their sacrifice by doing what cops do, by holding the line between lawful and unlawful, between chaos and calm, between order and disorder. We will honor these fallen officers by picking up that badge and holding that line, because that's what cops do. I want to mention that we met, I know Sheriff Shelley's going to talk about his fallen officer. Ours was Officer Mike Jensen, on the job just a little over 2 years. We met just about an hour ago with his mom, dad, and sister. There are no words for it, except to tell them that he was a proud officer that worked a territory car, and even after only a little over 2 years on the job, you could tell he took his responsibility seriously to protect and serve the community. The community, by the way, that he lives in, City of Syracuse, and the community that he loved, City of Syracuse. So the timeline, and I'm going to give you the timeline for all our officers, and then Sheriff Shelley's going to come up and talk about the scene itself. Much of this you may have heard last night. On Sunday, 14th day of April, 2024, at about 7:07, Syracuse police officers Jensen, and I'm not going to mention the other officer's name right now, encountered a gray Honda Civic they deemed to be a suspicious vehicle in the area of Emerson Ave and Hamilton Street. The officers attempted to stop the vehicle. However, the driver refused to stop and fled away. The officers lost sight of the vehicle very early on because it was recorded that the vehicle was traveling at a speed of over 100 miles an hour. However, they were able to gather the registration, the license plate, and track the plate back to a home in Liverpool, where they arrived along with sheriff deputies, including Lieutenant Hoosock. When they were inspecting the vehicle and moving around the house, they heard what sounded like a a gun being manipulated, so they took cover. Shortly after that, we had one officer go down in the rear yard, and then our officer was taken out by the suspect. That officer, however, did return fire, along with other officers, and mortally wounded the suspect. Once again, I just want to give my condolences, not only to our officer, but to Lieutenant Hoosock's family. It's just something you can never prepare for, something like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. It's a very sad moment in time for our community, our police families. Two of our brothers gave the ultimate sacrifice, holding the line between right and wrong. My condolences, the words are hard to find, go out to the families of both officers. Officer Hoosock, Deputy Hoosock, who was promoted to lieutenant in June of this past year, had a wife, 3 young children, ages 3, 5, and 7. He joined the Sheriff's Office in 2007. He was a watch commander. He was our bomb squad commander. Received multiple commendations and medals, one of which was a Medal of Valor in 2020 down at the Transportation Center, where he helped apprehend a person who had shot 2 other people. To continue on last night's events, I was at the scene last night. I was at the scene today. It's a fairly large scene. It's a lot of work to be done. Syracuse Police asked for assistance looking for a suspicious vehicle. Lieutenant Hoosock self-initiated and responded to the residents in Liverpool. The vehicle Syracuse Police were looking for, Lieutenant Hoosock found. 2 other deputies arrived soon after. Syracuse Police showed up soon after that. They decided to set a perimeter up on the house. Lieutenant Hoosock went to the backyard of the neighboring house, looked for cover behind a maple tree, at which point he was ambushed. The suspect then went to the front of the house where the Syracuse police officers were. Chief Cecil gave those details. Mayor Walsh will give a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Once again, I want to extend my condolences first and foremost to the families of Officer Jensen and Lieutenant Hoosock. You are in our prayers. I want to thank our first responders who were on the scene last night and at the hospital, including the upstate emergency department staff. I personally witnessed their efforts last evening, and they were nothing short of heroic. I want to thank Chief Cecil and Sheriff Shelley, who have exhibited outstanding leadership in an incredibly difficult time. I want to thank everyone who has reached out from throughout the community and throughout the country. Your prayers are very much appreciated and very much needed. There are many people heartbroken and grieving right now, myself included. But I ask everyone to direct your thoughts first and foremost to the families of Officer Jensen and Lieutenant Hoosock and to our law enforcement officers. We have officers in this room right now that are grieving. We have officers that are in their homes right now grieving. And we have officers out on the streets continuing to protect us while they're grieving. Please wrap your arms around them and lift them up. We need our officers every day, and every day they are there for us. Today, They need us, and we must be there for them, today and always. God bless the families of Officer Jensen and Lieutenant Hoosock. God bless the officers of the Syracuse Police Department and the Onondaga County Sheriff's Department. God bless our community as we continue to cope with this immeasurable loss. Thank you. And I invite the county executive up to share some words.
Thank you, Mayor, and certainly our community's thinking about Officer Johnson's family, Lieutenant Hoosock's family. Sheriff Shelley talked about the decorated career as a deputy and a lieutenant that Officer Hoosock had, Lieutenant Hoosock. He was also part of our critical emergency management department and a field director for the fire service and a volunteer firefighter. This was just an incredible human being. And as the mayor and the sheriff and Chief Cecil have alluded to, right now our community is in shock and we're in pain. And the reality is this is the time for all of us to rally around these individuals. We witnessed incredible work last night. We witnessed two heroes who gave the ultimate sacrifice last night. There was numerous agencies responding to make sure that a neighborhood in a deadly situation was safe. At the same time, understanding that they most likely lost two of their brothers. It was incredible work, and I am so proud of all of you. I'm so proud of what the leadership that has been showed by Chief Cecil and Sheriff Shelley. I'm so proud that we have these amazing heroes serving us still. And that's what they are right now. So everybody just needs to understand these individuals haven't gone home. They continue to work to close this case out and do the work. They haven't even had a chance to even think about grieving for their two brothers. So let's just remember that. Let's remember the selfless acts that these law enforcement professionals do and live every day for us to keep us safe. And I want to thank you all again. I'm so proud of all of you. God bless our two heroes, and God bless their families, and God bless these brave men and women. Thank you.
Joe Moran, president of the Syracuse Police Benevolent Association, the union that represents Syracuse police officers. And we've had the opportunity here to listen to a number of presentations, factually based presentations on what occurred yesterday. But I'd like to give you a presentation from a different lens, a different perspective. I want to emphasize the human element and the impact that this is having on our members. You see, yesterday, I'm sure, Officer Jensen woke up, had his morning routine, and a little before 2 o'clock, put on his crisp blue uniform, his silver badge, his duty belt, his black boots. He came to work yesterday with his typical bright smile ear to ear and his charming personality, that infectious, charming personality that resonated so well with our members. He sat in roll call yesterday with his colleagues, and he attempted to do what he signed up to do, which was to enforce the law, to make the city of Syracuse a better place, to make the city of Syracuse a safer place. That's what he attempted to do yesterday. And unfortunately, an evil demon took him away. An evil demon took him away from us and his family, and Lieutenant Hoosock and his family and his children. There is not a dry eye over at the Public Safety Building today, nor the Sheriff's headquarters. The emotions are indescribable. We're so fortunate to have members in this police department, despite the obstacles and challenges that they face, that continue to go out and proactively enforce the law, like Officer Jensen and his partner doing yesterday. We will have a great opportunity to celebrate these two men at their funeral arrangements, and that information will be presented here at some point to you all. But if you could just imagine being at that hospital last night, as I saw 100+ Syracuse police officers and deputies stand outside of Upstate Hospital, and you could hear a pin drop. You just couldn't explain the environment last night and the impact that it's had on our people. You see, we don't have bereavement right now. I attended afternoon roll call with Deputy Chief Russ and a number of our upper commanders. Those men and women who were in their blue uniforms, they don't have time to grieve. They're out responding to calls right now, providing the city a great service. That's what they're doing. That's how strong our members are. They're back at work the next day. We have detectives processing this investigation, having to go back to the scene, revisit this because of this evil demon. I want to thank all of our members who are navigating through this unbelievably difficult time. I express my deepest condolences to the Jensen family, the Hoosock family. But together we will get through this like we always do. God bless you. Thank you.
This time we'll open it up to questions. If you could just direct your question towards the specific person that you need to have them answer, and we need to keep it limited. So a couple questions each, please.
Sheriff Shelley, did a subsequent search of the grounds of the house anything more about why this happened and what the suspect?
So this, as I mentioned, is a very large scene. The outside scene goes through 2 backyards, around a house, into the street, into the front yard. The injured officers are transported in sheriff's cars. Those are part of the scene where those downed officers are treated as part of the scene. So today, all we were able to get accomplished was processing that outside scene. So we have the house secured. We will continue processing that scene to get the details to answer your question tomorrow. Some of those people need some rest. So the why of it all, we're still working on that. Hopefully we know more facts tomorrow.
Did you find an indication of how many rounds were fired?
It's too difficult to count the number of rounds.
Was anyone taken into further custody?
Yes,
How many?
one person.
No charges against that person?
No charges at the moment. His name is Sean Kinsella.
And his relationship with the situation?
We believe he is a friend of the suspect.
How do you spell that?
Sean, S-H-A-W-N, Kinsella.
Was he at the home while the shooting occurred?
He was in the backyard trying to get over a fence when he was apprehended.
And it sounds like each officer was hit on a different side of the home. Is that an accurate understanding?
Lieutenant Hoosock was hit in a adjacent yard to the east. The sheriff's or the Syracuse police officer was hit in front of the house.
Because the shooter had time in between those deadly shootings, do you think his mindset was to go after the police officers?
I don't think I can get in his mind.
Chief Cecil, our condolences to you and the sheriff's office. What can you tell us about the suspicious vehicle? What made it suspicious? What happened up on Tip Hill when this incident started, and what happened next?
So it started out as a suspicious vehicle, I think, for V&T purposes. Then when further research went into it after it sped away, it was determined that it was somehow associated with a handgun or a gun of some type. So their alert was heightened at that point.
And there's been, you know, we heard what you said last night about officers tracking down the address based on license plate information. Some neighbors seem to have said that they saw police cars rushing after a suspect's car. Could you just clarify the discrepancy on exactly what happened in the moments before?
Yeah, I have trouble clearing up things that neighbors say. As you know, even during that incident, there was information coming to us that was in error. So it's hard for me to stand here and tell you why it's a discrepancy with what a neighbor thought they saw or heard.
But do you reiterate that the license plate brought officers to the home and there was no interaction outside of the home? It only was the officers were outside and the gun was inside?
Yes, that's been confirmed on body cam.
For both the chief and the sheriff, I know that you began to touch on this a little bit and you need to continue investigating, but for something that was going to be what sounded like a bit of a routine traffic stop, for this person to then escalate it to, in your words, potentially waiting to ambush officers coming after him, why would he do that? Why would he be waiting there with a gun to do something like this? Is there anything in his past, anything that you're looking for toxicology-wise that would explain where his mind was at?
There's something in his past that I don't think we're going to reveal at this point that may be some indicator as to why he did it.
A recent mental health type issue that was...
Nothing like that, no.
Any other run-ins with cops beyond the 2014 DWI that would explain it?
That's the only interaction we know of.
Any threats from him? Any threats of violence from the past?
None that we are aware of. But, you know, it raises the point. There's nothing routine out there in this day and age at all for law enforcement.
What's wrong with society that two officers can end up killed after what seemed to have been or should have been a routine call?
I don't know, Andrew. You know, I just know that these officers go out there, as PBA President Moran said, they go to roll call every day, put on their uniform, and hit the streets to protect and serve. And at any given moment, and this is an example of that, some routine call can take their lives.
How difficult was it to sit with Officer Jensen's family a little while ago?
It was horrible. I didn't expect to have to do that in my career. Hope to never do it again. They were very gracious. We asked them, you know, told them whatever they need, we'll give them whatever request they have. We set them up with a captain so they have direct contact, and it was very difficult to sit there with a family of a son who was 2.5 years on the job, and they talk about how proud he was of that uniform and that badge. And I saw it when I went to roll calls. PBA Moran said it. That officer had a smile on his face all the time, happy to be in that uniform, proud to be in that uniform, just going out there to do the job, and would have had a lengthy, productive career if, as PBA President said, this maniac hadn't decided to gun him down.
Sheriff, as you look at this scene, where was the suspect when he fired the shot? Was he ever fired from inside the home, or did he go outside?
Yeah, so behind the home, there's a deck without a roof on it, and he was on that deck.
The entire time?
He was on the deck the entire time. He was shooting at Lieutenant Hoosock. He left the deck, ran to the front of the house where the Syracuse police officers were, then opened fire on them.
What type of weapon was it?
It's a Springfield AR-15.
Legally owned?
We haven't determined that yet.
Folks, just time for one or two more questions.
Would you take a moment to talk about your fellow lieutenant?
You know, I knew Mike Hoosock personally. Everybody knew him as Hooch. You may have seen him last week if you were at the PNC ribbon cutting at 57 and 31. He was a very active member of Moyers Corners Fire Department, and they were there for that ribbon cutting. If you went to any bomb call in this area, he was the commander of the bomb squad. So he was just a good guy. He was a paramedic or EMT, just a pillar of his community. You will never find anyone that has a bad thing to say about Mike Hoosock.
Have you spoken with his family?
I I have. We'll be meeting with his wife right after this.
Just one question for Mr. Moran. You spoke about it at length there when you came to the microphone, but what is going through the minds of your officers right now, given that this is the first time that this specific kind of line of duty that has happened in over 30 years?
Oh, you just took my point, Connor. All right, 30 plus years since the last time an incident like this occurred. And the dialogue amongst the membership, myself, the chief's office is you can't prepare for something like this. Emotionally, mentally, our members are well trained. They do a great job. They provide a great service every day. But this, it's just not something that you can anticipate in your mind and how to address it until it's here. And then we have to address it, and we have to go out and continue to respond to calls and investigate felonies and schedule funeral services. That's my answer.